Hey guys, it's Clay on the trail. This video is a 4-day, 3-night adventure my wife and I took up it's a Weber drainage, above Fish Lake, Sand Lake, and Round Lake. This is a little no-named lake that we ended up staying at. So stick with us, join us in the adventure. All right, so we're headed out for a tour of the ponds of this upper basin here. I love all the Uintas ponds. I don't know why. They're just so pretty. Hardly ever do they have fish in them. Sometimes they'll have some salamanders, but there is always a moose or some elk or some sheep somewhere around. Last night, I know my video got cut really short because it just went from nothing to hailing on us, and then it just spit on us all night long. So we just hunkered down in the tent. Got the longest, best night's sleep I've had in a few days, which was all right. Oh, these little meadows with the wildflowers out and the corn lilies growing. It's beautiful. Okay, here's the first pond on our tour. This is as big as the lake we're staying at. We visited for quite a while with a guy yesterday at Fish Lake that said he came up here and there was actually fish in it. I have never seen fish in it before, and I've hiked through this before. But we'll see. I remember seeing salamanders. But we'll see if we can see anything. Okay, I don't know if you can see it or not, but right down in the water right there is a salamander. Oh, there is a fish. Nope, that's a salamander that just rose right there. I would be surprised if there was fish in here. I'm not calling that other guy a liar, but I bet this pond's only foot and a half deep. And I bet it freezes pretty hard in the wintertime, but lots of lily pads. Alright, so there's leeches swimming around in here, big fat ones too, and lots of salamanders. There's another salamander right out there. Here is another pond on our tour, much smaller. Full of lily pads. No flowers yet. We're a little early in the year. Now this is glacial runoff, and I can tell because the water is milky. It has all the silt in it coming out of the mountain. Beautiful and ice cold. Okay, so this is something I've not ever seen before. I was trying to figure out if it had like a quartz covering on it, or if it was, I didn't know, but it is an algae or something that's growing on top of this. It's like almost a ½ inch thick. Crazy. There's another chunk of it down here. I have never seen that up here before. I kept waiting for it when I touched it for it to start eating me like the blob, but it didn't. There's a shot of that. I believe if you went straight up and over this, oops, all the way up here to the point, the top of the cirque here, if you popped over on this other side here, would be the Cuberant Lake areas. If you went east, you'd hit like Teal Lake and that basin between Teal and Whiskey Island. I'm not really sure what's over this side. It says Meadow Lake, but I've never been there, so I don't even know where it's at. This is kind of unusual terrain for the high Uintas. Lots of willows. This is tough country, so they're not very big. They're just scrubby little suckers, but and lots of mint. I love walking through mint. So that stream disappeared under this rock pile, and it sounds really cool. Like being in a cave. But it's running down here to this little pond that looks just milky. So I've been scouring the hills looking for goats. They're not sheep, they're goats. Haven't seen anything up there. But I know there's a rather large herd of them that hangs in this area. I've seen them when I was at Teal Lake and up on the Cuberant side too, so I know they're in the area. Beautiful. So here is last remaining chunk of snow. And today is the 4th of July, so happy 4th of July, happy Independence Day to all my American followers. I don't think we'll get to see any fireworks tonight. But I've never felt freer than I do up here. Okay, so this shows as a pond on the map. Isn't much of one, but you can see the water's coming in right there, right out of the ground. Nice spring. Beautiful little meadow.
It was like in there or something, but
I don't know. Guy we were talking to yesterday at Fish Lake said there was a cabin up here, like a new one, just scabbed together. You're not allowed to have permanent structures up here, but wouldn't be surprised if the sheep herders have something up here that is movable. They said something about a big meadow and some ponds, so we're keeping an eye out. Now that I'm retired, maybe that's the job I need. Live up here all summer with the sheep. All right, so here we are finding all these beautiful ponds, hiking around, and lo and behold, I actually would have a hard time buying that this is a sheep herder cabin. I don't believe the Forest Service would allow this to happen. Maybe I'm wrong. It's got a metal roof.
Maybe it's a Forest Service.
I don't know. Arrowhead Inn, it's got a real window in it, and it's built out of trees that were standing here.
Tarps covering the inside.
Yep, tarps lining the inside and the window. Well, whoever's got this going on's got a stove, bunch of gear set up. Be a cool place to come. I'm not gonna mess with any of his stuff. Seems like it's been here for a while. The firewood has been cut a long time ago, and the plastic's got a lot of holes in it. It's a beautiful location. It's little islands of trees that grow out of the rocks. I love places like this. Hopefully you're enjoying it too. If you are, reach over there and click the thumbs up button. All right, well, on a whim, we decided to come up to this saddle. Oh. We came in the basin over here off this point. Fish Lake is right there. And it goes all the way across over to here. And we're camped. Oh, I want to say right in there somewhere. All the ponds, water, lots of rock. And lots of dead trees. I think there's more dead trees than live ones. So this isn't what I was expecting. There's a cairn of rocks there, a huge cairn of rocks. They always pop up where you'd least expect them. This other point over here, we're not going to go up over it, but may go look over there. And for sure I'm going to come look over here and see where we ended up. Alright, so I was right. This is the big Cuberant Lake. And then there's a ring. There's a ring of them that go right around there, a whole bunch of them, and then there's one way down below over there, but I am not going to get too much closer to the edge because it looks like that. Cash, get back, dingbat. It looks like people are camped down here. It'd be a beautiful place. Big open tops up here. I was really surprised. We must have hiked a mile to get from where we thought the top was over there. I mean, through this big meadow. And I spent a lot of time, I know, on Google Earth. And there's a big white line. Or sorry, a big line. I didn't know if it was a trail or a ditch that comes across this meadow up here. Always wondered what it was, and I'm actually up here. I will go check it out before we're done, because I don't know if it's an old trail or a ditch. I mean, who knows, but you can see Whitney Reservoir clear over here. Okay, so I got my bearings around me again. This lake right in here is Meadow Lake, and then if you come around right off this peak in here is Bench Lake, and then Notch Lake sits right over here. And then of course Reed's Peak and Bald Mountain are right there. You can see the tippy tip of Timpanogos, clear over there. And once again, if you get stupid, there's a pretty good drop down there to the bottom. So the lofty peak is right here. Hayden Peak is the biggest one here. And that would be Agassiz there. There's quite a view from up here. Alright, so I have always wondered what this anomaly is on Google Earth. It cuts in almost a straight line across this meadow. I still don't know. No one would have put a ditch or a trench or something up here. My thought would be there used to be a pass up here and this would be the old trail, and it's just been pounded down and then not used in so long that it's growing back. I just don't know. But I can say I've seen it with my own eyes now. Cash is going to get him some mice. If I were a mountain goat, this would be where I would live, for sure. So of course I'm just waxing poetic here, I have no idea. But it almost seems like when maybe the Corps of Engineers back in the 30s, I believe it was, they built the dam on Fish Lake and Sand Lake, and I wonder, because that's a big old meadow up there to fill up full of snow, if they were trying to catch some of the runoff that would go right down through this little canyon here and use it to fill Fish Lake every year. It's too big of an anomaly to be anything else, and all the rocks, the big rocks, were all stacked up on the west side of the ditch. I don't know the answer, but that's going to be my best guess. All right, so we made it back down. Harder to come down than going up. We came down from over here across. Had to cross the snow a couple times. A little scary. Feels good for you though. So we made it down. We're going to finish our tour of the ponds. All right, this is the furthest east pond that we're planning on going to. I think it's the furthest east pond there is. Yeah, so there's not a lot here either, just prettiness and wind. Here's the bigger section. I don't know if they're fish or salamanders, but something just jumped. Oh, salamanders. There's two. There's a salamanders haven't quite grown their legs yet. They're all over in this one. Another leech. And there's another one over here. And another one swimming over here. There's no fish in here though. They're growing to a healthy size. Here's the inlet. And down there in the bottom is the lake we're camped at. So we have come full circle. Ooh. I might hand catch that one. All right, tonight's dinner. We got back from our hike, just kind of lounged around and napped and whatever. But tonight's dinner is a ramen without the powder. Some Alfredo. We found some powdered Alfredo sauce and one of the envelopes of salmon. So we're having some salmon Alfredo ramen. The ramen noodles are a little of, it cheapened it up a little bit, but it was the easiest, quickest way to make it. It's very good. All right, another peaceful camp. We're about ready to start a fire. Enjoyed dinner after a pretty good hike today. We actually had some folks come down, and they're fishing around the lake. Looks like he caught one. I did a little fishing when I got home today. I caught 6 more out of here, including 2. There's 2 that live in the little inlet stream. And they were tough to catch. If you even get close to the bank, they get out of the way. But I shortened my fly way, way, way up. So I was only running about 3 feet of string, of fishing line. Anyway, I set it right down in the little pools from 12 feet away, and I snagged both of them. Put them both back. This has been a great camp. We are going to call it a night as far as filming goes. And we will see you guys in the morning. All right, everybody. It's the morning of the 4th day. It's Sunday morning. We have packed everything up, double checked everything, left the place prettier than when we found it, and we're gonna head on out. Yay! Even Cash is excited. I have to wrestle him to get that bottom part of his pack on. The top part just snaps right on. But I think we're ready to go. All right. Nice grove of corn lilies. And a little pond. Then we will make our way up and over the pass. Oh, some salamanders in here. We've missed the bloom of the lily pads by probably 2 or 3 weeks. So we actually found the trail coming up this side hill, but to call it a trail is relative. And yes, guys, I keep offering her my poles. She won't take them. Says she doesn't like them. So there were some piles of elk scat further down the trail and some pea spots that are still wet. So somewhere, probably an hour in front of us, it's a herd of elk. You can see how fresh their tracks are. Alright, so we made it up top and actually made marks, waypoints on my GPS where the trail comes out on this side. I wish I'd have done the same for this side, because now we're trying to find it again. But I have a pretty good idea where we came up. There was a huge herd of elk in front of us, but they all turned down into the trees there. I was hoping to get a picture of them. They just went the wrong way. So there's camp robbers all around us. You hear them? They're jays. Rocky Mountain jays, something like that. The trail got so unused that we've decided to bushwhack it. We were going past where our truck is anyway. But that was a much easier route following the trail. So I'll probably do that again. One of those places I've always wanted to camp, and I did, and it was great. But there's so many other places to go, I don't know if I'll ever go back overnight. But it sure is fun as a day trip. Brookies are awesome at the little unnamed lake we stayed at. And the grayling are bigger at Fish Lake, but harder to catch, but still really easy to catch. And the ones at Sand Lake were just trying to jump on shore. I think they're all starved to death. So that was an excellent trip. Okay, one last note before we call her a trip. 0 mosquito bites, and they were thick. 0 mosquito bites through any of my clothes that I've treated with permethrin. I got 1 mosquito bite on my elbow with the picaridin, or picaridin, however you say it. The catch being, it says it lasts up to 14 hours. It had been about 12 hours, and I think it was just wearing thin. I'd been getting wet and doing different things. So if you applied it every 10 hours, I would have got 0 bites. So if you're unfamiliar with either of those products, go to my video, my go-to mosquito something. I'll drop a link in it down in the comments below, in the description, and check it out. I mean, it really, really works. And for people to be going out and still getting mosquito bites is crazy. How was the trip?
It was good.
It's tiring. The hike's kind of tough going in and out.
It's a lot of up and down.
A lot of up and down, but not very far. We've only hiked
No.
like less than 2 miles,
Yeah.
something like that.
No, and it was good weather.
Good weather. We got rained on for
Rained and hailed for a minute.
30 minutes. Kind of kept us in our tent because it was spotty, but okay. Thumbs up. Okay. Good fish?
Yeah.
All right. All right, guys. Thanks everybody for watching. It really has been a great trip. Beautiful campsite. I'm glad that we moved after the first night. The site was so much better. Fish at that lake are awesome. They fight. And grayling, pretty easy to catch out of Fish Lake. They're bigger. Out of Sand Lake was ridiculous. They were just jumping right out of the water. You'd throw your fly in and 3 or 4 of them would fight over who got to bite it. So please give a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and I will catch you on the next adventure. Thanks for watching.